It is with great honor and we will extend a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Purvi Pokhariyal, a renowned academician and accomplished scholar who is taking time out of a busy schedule to join us virtually. Professor Dr. Purvi Pokhariyal serves as a campus director and director of academics, research and consultancy at the prestigious National Forensic Science University, Gandhinagar. Ma'am is also the founding dean of the School of Law, Forensic Justice and Policy Studies and the dean of the School of Forensic Psychology at the National Forensic Science University, Gandhinagar. Over her 25 years of academic and industrial experience, her accolades include the Senior Social Scientist Award from the Indian Society of Criminology and the Best Law Professor Award from the Business School Affairs and the Devang Mehta National Education Awards. Ma'am holds a master's degree in law with specialization in criminal law and a doctoral degree in constitutional law from the Maharaja Sajirao University of Baroda, Vadodara. Dr. Pokhariyal's expertise extends to higher education, artificial intelligence, constitutional law, and she is also author of a notable book on artificial intelligence and law. Her influence as an academic extends beyond her institution as she actively participates as a visiting faculty at HOS University, Germany, and serves as a resource person at numerous national and international conferences. She has been conferred with the distinction of being the first ever female chairperson of the Indian Society of Criminology. Moreover, ma'am serves as an independent director at Nirma Limited and is associated with the State Judicial Academy and Police Academy as a resource person. I would like to invite ma'am to deliver the keynote address.
Very good morning to all of you, respected Professor C.R. Subramaniam, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Abhinav, respected the Dean of the Law School, and my dear friend, Dr. Sashikala Bapu, and all these esteemed panelists, Professor Vibhute, and all the other participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute pleasure for me to welcome you all as a co-organizer of this conference on forensic science and criminal justice. It's great to associate with CMR University for organizing this conference. I regret my inability to make it in person. This conference is on forensic science and criminal justice, and as most of you may be aware, that when it comes to the National Forensic Sciences University, the main object of establishing this act is to strengthen the criminal justice system. Now, when we talk by it, I always feel that as a student of constitutional law, we all as a citizen of this country need to collectively recall the fundamental duties enshrined in Part 4A of the Constitution. It categorically mentioned that it is the duty of every citizen to develop a scientific temper, spirit of inquiry and reform. So what is the activity in individual level or in collective level, whatever we are engaged with, how to develop a scientific temperament, scientific outlook, objectivity, and non-biased version of activity. That is what the key issue of this. So basically, having an objective scientific outlook at every step of the criminal justice system is something which is very important, because as we all know, India is one of the largest democracy in the world, and the democracy with a huge diversity, and we are surviving with the great democratic ethos, and every day the democracy is getting matured. The rule of law principles is getting much and much deeper in this country, and at this juncture, what do we entail the strengthening of the criminal justice system, having the scientific temperament, and that is how we have forensic justice. It means that absence of any kind of a bias, cognitive bias, affective bias, there are 70 types of biases. So how do we develop that kind of an ecosystem, which is a bias-free ecosystem, and more reliance is given to the scientific tools, techniques, temperament, and this is how we can bring the objectivity, we can bring the transparency, we can bring the accountability. This is how we can strengthen the rule of law system in this country. So when we talk about uh, justice system, as we all know, the criminal law is one area which has been greatly fascinated over centuries. It has always been within the public scrutiny and public discourse because it is that area which encroaches your fundamental rights, your personal liberty, and your liberty is somewhere which is in compromise through the imposition of this law. And that's the reason that criminal law has been always under a public scrutiny of ages. In every century, we have seen there is a great amount of public criticism, public discourse, and public outcry for whatever the system we had in the past and we are having today. And this is precisely the reason that the government of the day has also decided to decolonize the entire ecosystem of the criminal justice delivery system, criminal justice. And how do we reform the existing terrain of criminal law? And that's how the different exercises have been carried out, and the new bills, all the three bills are now within the public domain again for a greater amount of public discourse. So criminal justice is one area which requires a very stringent public scrutiny, and in order to ensure that we are being able to observe the rule of law in this democracy. This is how we can strengthen the democracy. Now, when we talk about forensic science, what we call it in forensics, we don't just take justice, but we sculpt the justice from the stone of evidence. And this is how the forensic science works, because forensic science is just like a master detective in the grand theater of law, wherein you are trying to uncover the hidden truth that lies behind the story of every crime scene. So it is basically the search of the answers that leads to the truth. And this is how, we always feel that every crime scene has all the hidden evidences which are whispering. It requires a greater amount of expertise and skill to listen to that evidence, because every crime scene has a lot of whispers. How do we deduce these stories from the crime scene is very important, because we believe that when the science is meeting to the human story, when science is meeting to the human emotions, and then trying to take its own course of system as a part of the collective will, that's what the forensic justice. At that point in time, the forensic justice takes a birth. So basically, why we need a greater amount of penetration and emphasis of forensic science in criminal justice system. As we all know, the recently the government of the day has already announced that there are certain offences which have more than 7 years of imprisonment. We need to have a forensic examination compulsorily for all these cases. Not only this, but in order to ensure the reforming of the standards of investigations of these kinds of crimes, how do we come out with standard SOPs? We call it standard reporting of procedures, standardization of the qualifications, standardization of the skill sets, standardization of all the equipments of each of the labs or each of the labs of the forensic science in every state. And in order to, because one of the most biggest criticism that comes from the forensic science intervention in the justice system, that it takes a lot of time, because, and it's a very costly affair. Yes, when it comes to tools and technology, it's always a costly affair, because most of the technologies are in the process of in development. But when we talk about the instant examination of these kind of forensic science, we also have a mobile forensic science. That's the concept that is being introduced by the government of the day, wherein there will be a standard instant forensic science laboratory in a van, which will be allocated to all the districts in all the states from the fund of the government, and then accordingly we can ensure the standardization and uniformity of the operations for all the states across the country. Not only this, but it is also especially the state like Karnataka, wherein you may be aware the special categories of the scene of crime officers, whom we call it special officers. Earlier, the police constables and the police personnel used to investigate crimes. Now, when they investigate crime and then they collect the samples, they collect the evidences from the crime scene, it happens that so many things they may overlook because they are not scientifically trained individuals. They are not meant for that. We don't have a two different categories of the law and order situation as being recommended by the Banner Committee, that one cadre is for the law and order and one cadre for the investigation of the crime. Is not the same as of now. So in that case, how do we create a special cadre among the police forces for the investigation of the crime scenes? And that's the reason that Karnataka was the first state to take up this step to have a specialized, what you call, categories of the police officers. They have already announced the special vacancies of the SOCO officers. And all these SOCO officers come for a very detailed, enhanced training for 3 months to 6 months at National Forensic Sciences University. And they are being exposed to all the different elements of the forensic science. Not only this, but it is very important that these SOCO officers are being vested with some amount of funds. So that is also in this direction. Also, there are a lot of work that has been already going on. When it comes to the forensic science, why we need to have a forensic science penetration in investigation of crime? So, because the most important thing is that it's a speedy justice. It is something which is free from any kind of biases. And when you police officers use all first degree, second degree, third degree treatment to extract the truth. With the help of this forensic science intervention, especially the forensic and investigating psychological tools, we can we deploy these sophisticated techniques, we can extract the truth. So that is how forensic science is increasing the access to justice and increasing the justice. It contributes to the acceleration of the processes because. We all know recently the World Justice Project report has mentioned that there are 5.2 billion people in this world who has an unmet justice need. And same is the case with India. Access to justice is a bigger problem that we all are confronting in India as well. And there are different committees and commissions have been appointed to address this issue, but so far we have not been able to get a great success. But with the help of forensic science, we can expedite the investigation process. When we have so many scientific officers, so many forensic science laboratories, so many mobile forensic vans, we hope that we are being able to deduce the better evidences which is scientifically reliable, and on the basis of that we can not only exonerate the innocents, but of course those who have committed a crime need to be punished because that's the cardinal principles of criminal law. If you look at the conviction rate, any rule of law country is very important. You need to have a greater amount of conviction rate because if you look at the more strengthened democracy, the conviction rate would be appropriately being measured in that level. If you look at US, China, they have the conviction rate up to 90%, and we in India, under the IPC, the conviction rate is just on an average 55 to 58%. So we have much more, we have a far way to go. We have to take this conviction rate from 58% to a minimum 75%. That is a target that the government of the day is being forcing. And all the efforts and all the strategies are being deployed in order to ensure the increasing of the conviction rate. Now, I'm not getting into the details of various factors of the forensic science, but I just would like to say one thing that when it comes to the forensic science examination and forensic evidence appreciation in the court of law, Section 293 and Section 45 of the Indian Evidence Act and 293 of the CRPC plays a vital role, as we all know. 293, if you look at the revised, the amended, if you get the proposed amendment in Section 293, this Section 293 powers are being enlarged. It's not only now only with the central government, state government can also notify the institutions who can be the government scientific experts. So that is how we are increasing the scope and making it more wider for better accessibility of the forensic science examination. Like Section 45, we had certain amounts of issues with reference to who can be called an expert witness and who can be given whose evidence is to be taken under Section 45. Sometimes the government scientific expert also are also being called under Section 45. So this dichotomy, which we had confronted through different pronouncement of the Supreme Court, has also been trying to getting be resolved through this proposed amendment in the relevant section. So my point over here is that when it comes to the forensics and the conviction, of course, we have to maintain the chain of custody, which is the biggest issue because not all the officers are properly trained, but now all the direction are be getting in this direction. The other concern with the Supreme Court has also raised before few months is about the standard operating procedure for the investigation of all kind of crimes before the police officers. Any crime has been committed, what are the procedure which is necessarily to be observed, which are non-negotiating procedure. That guideline is also under the preparations, and I'm very happy to share your partner with CMR University, that is National Forensic Sciences University, is playing a pivotal role in making this all standardization with reference to the investigations and investigation of the crime and with reference to designing all the SOPs in association with the Director of Forensic Science under the Ministry of Home Affairs. And I don't have much time. I have a slide to go, but I'm very thankful to Professor Subramanian for giving this opportunity. And I look forward to visit CMR University in person. I wish the conference a great success. Thank you.